occasional anti-Semite rep. Ilhan Omar had fun rallying her troops at the Capitol on Tuesday, falling prey to her usual antics of blaming everything in the world on President Donald Trump. Tuesday's tirade attacked the POTUS and his goons in the Republican Party that are allegedly responsible for all of the recent attacks on synagogues and mosques. Where should we send your free Trump 2020 hat? Enter your address here. Breitbart reported on the story. Black Lives Matter and other anti-Trump groups held a rally on the grounds of the Capitol on Tuesday to call for President Donald Trump to be censured for what he said about Rep. Ilhan Omar's, DMN, controversial statement that somebody did something on 9/11. People chanted "Hands off Ilhan" and in a series of speeches blamed the president and Republicans for the rise of white supremacy, masked as white nationalism. She also let all of us know what kind of country the United States is going to be. This is not going to be the country of the xenophobics. This is not going to be the country of white people. This is not going to be the country of the few. This is the country of the many. This is not going to be a country of white people. That sounds, well, racist, doesn't it? Voter poll. Is Ocasio-Cortez mentally unfit to serve in Congress? It is interesting that a woman who has been blasted for her outrageous anti-Semitic comments against Israel time and time again has the nerve to accuse anyone of racism. Nevertheless, Omar also took some time to attribute white supremacy to the president with his alleged "third countries" remark reported back in January. I also happen to be a refugee and immigrant from what they call one of the third countries. The reality is that third country raised a very proud, dignified person. Our circumstances may not always be perfect, but that doesn't lessen our humanity, and I am not in the business of defending mine. Methinks that Somalia's circumstances not always being perfect is similar to saying that terrorists on September 11th were just some people who did something. Don't believe me? Just look. Foreign policy makers describe it below. Somalia is a state governed only by anarchy. A graveyard of foreign policy failures. It has known just 6 months of peace in the past 2 decades. Now, as the country's endless chaos threatens to engulf an entire region, the world again simply watches it burn. 2020 voter poll, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? So, in other words, albeit grass, it's a bit of a though? Is that why your family needed to escape it? It amazes me when people who literally flee from war-ravaged nations have the nerve to slander the affluent countries that have taken them in and given them a brand new start. And slander she did. This is the country that was founded on the history of Native American genocide, on the backs of black slaves, but also by immigrants. There are so many reasons why that's not an appropriate thing to say. As reported by Red State. For one, imagine a white Republican saying such a thing about how this won't be a black nation, and the reaction would be wholly different. News organizations from around the globe would be covering it. Marches down Main Street would be televised by any and all. Although she would have you believe that the United States is the worst place on earth, what she has actually done proves the opposite. From where she came to where she is now, she has shown that this country is the best, most prosperous place on earth. Do you believe America is the best place on earth? Sound off in the comment box below. Related, VP Mike Pence drops the hammer, demands top Dems be removed. Related, Rush Limbaugh says this one Democrat can beat Trump in 2020. You might like let's block ads. Why?